To have you here again with me. Hopefully you are enjoying your bank holiday and the slight ease of our lockdown rules, and I hope you've all been out enjoying the sun today. We don't need anything really for tonight's practice, but as always, if you are pregnant, please do have, or you've got achy joints around the knees, please do have something near you to either prop you up or pad you out to make you feel nice and comfortable, and yeah, nice big smile, and that's all we need. So come to sitting this evening, just sitting nice and comfortably on the sit bones. Take the flesh away and just either place one leg in front of the other, or you can cross the legs. If you are pregnant, don't cross the legs, just place one in front of the other, and then take a nice big shoulder roll up, back and down. Oh. And another one of those, again nice and big. Feel the breath moving through the body as you inhale, softening down as you exhale. Another one of those, big breath in, big breath out. And we're just going to drop the head over to the right and to the left, really slow and gentle, softening out through the neck. And then drop the chin down towards the center, closing the eyes. Allowing a big soft sigh to come out of the mouth, to really allow those shoulders to fall away. And as always, here we are, taking this time to thank yourself for a moment, to making this time for yourself, for this self-care, carving yourself out a little period of time to reconnect body, mind and breath, and hopefully feel really good at the end of our practice this evening. So however you come to the mat, take this time to shed off any expectation, any thoughts of how things should be for you this evening, and gaze inwardly as to how things actually are for you tonight. Are you feeling really chipper because it's lovely and sunny, or are you feeling a little bit I don't know, peeved that it's a bank holiday but we haven't really been able to enjoy our bank holiday as we usually would? Again, however we come to the mat is exactly how we should be, exactly where we should be. And take a nice big breath into the center of the chest to acknowledge that. Again, that really big sigh out to release and relax. And then closing the mouth, parting the teeth, to allow the jaw to soften. Just letting that space around the eyebrows relax. Around the back of the jaw. Again, those shoulders falling heavy away from the ears. Giving yourself this moment to notice your body. Notice any aches and pains that you're feeling just sitting here. Or perhaps a little bit of tension, again, either from working at home or from thoughts or emotions that are running through the mind at the moment. Again, giving yourself this time to acknowledge those. Just let any thoughts pass through the mind. Don't ignore them, just let them float in and float out again. As we bring the awareness to the breath. Again, it's the quality of breath that's coming into your body I want you to have a look at tonight. Are you feeling slightly juddery? Is hay fever getting to you? Are you feeling slightly short of breath? Or perhaps you usually suffer from hay fever or pollution or asthma, and you're feeling really super open these days because we have our less cars on the road and stuff. So again, just noticing what is true for you today, allowing the breath to flow in and out of the body without making too much of an effort. And as we rest here and watch, again, just notice that natural slowing of your breath, that calming of the mind, the easing of the body. enjoy that for a moment. And as always, we're going to make a promise to ourselves to practice with openness and honesty for the body tonight. And then bring those hands into prayer at heart, blinking eyelids open and raising gaze. Namaste, everybody. So, just coming to sit nice and comfortably on the sit bones. Maybe, again, if you're pregnant, you might want to stick a pillow underneath your bottom so that your hips are leaning forward, or perhaps if you've just got tight hips, you want to ease them a little bit as we come to bring our hands onto the knees. We're going to take some gentle movements left and right. So just gently easing into the side of the body, seeing how that feels for you this evening. Just one shoulder up, one shoulder down, pushing from hip to hip. Again, just being aware of those muscles around the rib cage, intercostal muscles, the muscles around the shoulders and the neck. Noticing if one side is a little tighter than the other, or one part of that side body is a little tight. And then we're going to come back into the center. Give yourself a nice big sweeping breath in to lift up, releasing those sides of the body, and as you exhale, bring your hands into prayer. Again, another big shoulder roll to reset your back body. And we're going to take the hands behind us so that we can stretch the legs all the way out. So hopefully you've got enough room to stretch your legs all the way out. And again, if you're feeling like you're sitting back into your sacrum, if you're rounding your lower back, then prop yourself up on a cushion, because we're going to be here for a minute. So nice and tall through the center of the chest. Maybe give yourself a push through the fingertips to roll even further onto the front edge of your pelvis. So we're nice and long through the back of the hamstrings, and again opening up those toes towards the body. Again, maybe noticing whether that feels super tight for you just to sit here in this position. It may do. And notice perhaps where in the body that you're feeling super tight. Is it the hamstrings, the back of the knees, the adductors, the lower back? And again, taking a moment to send breath into those spaces. So visualize the breath coming in through the nostrils, nourishing those parts of the body, and then floating out again, taking with it any tension, any stress. Again, you may want to close your eyes to make that happen. So nice big filling breaths, softening out through the body as you exhale, filling up with love and light and openness as you inhale. And then blinking the eyelids open if they're not already. I'm going to take, it's either one or two choices. Again, perhaps if you're pregnant or you're feeling a little bit tired, you might want to leave your hands on your thighs where they are. Or you can take them into clasp in front of you, into a nice big clasp, pushing the heels of the hands together. Again, when you clasp your hands together, sometimes that tension comes into your shoulders, so push them down into their sockets if that's happened. And again, don't worry if you want to bring the hands onto the thighs at any point. As you inhale, the crown of the head is going to lift up nice and tall, and as you exhale, you're going to lean forward. Again, the hands are at shoulder height. You're going to come over your right foot, reaching all the way forward, and then coming all the way back, lifting through the chest. Again, the shoulders are really coming down the back body, and then you're going to come over that left foot, reaching forward. Again, don't worry if you want to bring the hands onto the thighs. Inhale to come all the way up, shoulders down, and then exhale to come all the way forward. So inhale to come all the way up. Use your own breath pattern, shoulders down, leaning back slightly on the backswing. Exhale to come forward. This is called turning the butter, and it's really good for digestive system and also around the hips, obviously. But I've noticed that in lockdown, you tend to have, I don't know whether it's worse or better eating habits, but kind of different eating habits, which tends to play havoc with your system, and then come back into the center. So this is the last one on this side, so it's a nice chance to release that digestive system. And then come back up into the center, nice roll of the shoulders up, back and down, Lifting up through the crown of the head, reaching forward through those arms, and then you're going to come over the left foot. Over the left foot. And then come all the way back, and then come over your right foot. Excuse me. So as you inhale, you're coming all the way up, shoulders down. As you exhale, you're coming all the way forward. Again, chest remains lifted, shoulders remain soft. Taking the time to really get into those hip flexors too, stretching out along that line. See if you can push down through the back of your thighs, the back of your knees. Don't worry if that's a little bit too difficult and your hips are coming up. Just working yourself into big circles if you can. And then the last one. Coming all the way up, easing through your lower back, rolling shoulders up, back and down. Hands onto your thighs, wiggle on your sit bones from side to side. And then gently crossing the legs. Maybe you want to sweep your legs to one side, but we're going to come onto all fours. So whichever one is easier for you. Again, maybe if you've got a big baby bump, then it's not so easy to come over onto all fours from that direction. So knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. And we're just going to take some cat-cows. Again, everybody's sitting in funny positions at the moment. So hopefully that will nicely ease the spine. So nice big breath in here. As you exhale, you're going to push through the heels of the hands, sigh through the mouth, and tuck the head to look towards the belly. On your inhale breath, you're going to draw your shoulders back, open the chest up, arch the spine. And then as you exhale, we'll sigh it out again. Push through the hands, lift the upper body, tuck the head, tuck the tailbone. Inhale to come forward and up. Again, shoulders back, opening up through the chest. Exhale, big sigh. Push the floor away, lift up the space in the middle back. And then inhale to open the chest, shoulders back, squeezing of the elbows. This time no sigh, just gently rounding out and lifting and lengthening. Inhale to open the chest, nice and long through upper body. And then exhale to round it out, nice and open through your tailbone too, tucking and lengthening. This time we're going to snake the body forward. Again, perhaps if you've got in your third trimester, you won't want to come forward, so just come into normal cat-cows. And as you exhale, you're going to round your back, push slightly through the heels of the hands, come towards the heels, squeeze the elbows as you come forward again into that upward snake position. And then exhaling it out, rounding out through the back body. So again, just noticing how that feels for the shoulders. Make sure the elbows stay squeezed into the middle so you've got full support of your body and you're not leaning on the edge of your wrists. And working with your own breath patterns. So nice big inhales as you lift forward and up. And you can just come into regular cat-cow if this gets a bit much on the body. Inhale to come forward and up. And then exhale to round it out. So last one. And don't worry if you're not quite with me. And then exhale it out, nice and long. So we're going to come to rest in child's pose for a moment. Draw the toes together, but keep the elbows up off the floor. So reaching your fingertips forward, pushing through the heels of the hands and drawing the tailbone. So really making a point of drawing that bottom part of the spine down towards the heels. So you're tucking it under. You're breathing into the space around the upper back, and then take a gentle look from left to right underneath the arms. And then very slowly making your way up onto all fours. So bring the knees again a little bit further into the underneath the hips. Hands underneath the shoulders, splayed as wide as you can. And then we're going to take that right foot up. Just taking a gentle circle around that right ankle. Again, full flex of the foot. It might just be a simple circle, come back the other way, but we want to get as much out of it as possible. So full flex of the foot, full point of the toes, splaying open wide through those toes as you come out. And then bring those right toes down onto the floor. Nice bigger breath in to lift your hip, your chest. And as you exhale, push through the heel of that right foot. So you're really pushing through the heels of the hands. Tuck your bottom under so that you've got all that force coming into the back of the calf muscle. Nice big breath in. Big sigh out. turn that right heel down onto the floor. So you're swiveling round on the ball of the foot, the toes are pointing to the edge of the mat, and the heel is pointing towards the left side of the mat. And then from here, you're going to reach all the way forward with that right arm. So you're pushing through the left heel of the hand, opening up through the chest, big back swing. And then as you exhale, come forward. So inhale, reaching forward, opening up through the chest, exhaling, coming back and down. So you're noticing how that feels for the rotator cuff of the shoulder. Does this feel like a clunky movement? Is this nice and fluid? If you can, get it moving with your breath. Last one this way. Exhale. And then we're going to come forward. So we're coming all the way back, open through the chest and reaching forward through that right arm. Nice and long and lifted. Again, nice big sweep all the way out and back, up and forward and down. Again, using your breath, lifting and lengthening. Last one, this time as you come up and over, you're going to stay in that forward reach and see if you can push through the left heel of the hand to lift up through the side of the body even further. So really arcing over towards the front of the mat with that right arm and lifting through the right hand side. Big breath in, big sigh out. Take the right hand down, but it's going to be further forward and further over to the right than your left hand. So you've got nice stable base through the side. You're going to lift up through that right foot and then take that right foot over towards the left sit bone. So your right knee is pointing out to the side and your foot is coming over towards the left sit bone. Again, don't worry if you want to just stay here and angle that foot over towards the sit bone to stretch out through the thigh. But if you want to and you're feeling stable, then you can take the left hand around that right foot and start to kick up and back. Again, if you're pregnant, I wouldn't suggest this last bit. Lifting chest, pushing through the heel of that right hand, big breath in. Big sigh out, reach the left hand forward, right foot back, and then bring the hand down. Kick the right foot out to the side and see if you can bring it alongside the hip. So you're kicking that right foot, toes pointing forward, out to the side, squeezing in through that thigh. Lift it up just a little bit higher and then bring it all the way down onto the floor. So we're going to take the hands and the whole of the body over towards that right side now. So bending into that right knee. Hands come over to the side. I'm going to turn to face forward so you can see what I mean. Hands coming over to the side and then you're dipping into that right inner thigh. So coming all the way down through the body. If you've got them flexibility, you can come down onto your elbows. You don't have to. And you can always come down onto a cushion or a block if you want to. And really bending into that right knee. Soften into that right thigh and stretching through the underside of that left thigh, the inside of that left thigh I should say. Big breath in and out. Shoulders back. And then very slowly, I'm going to walk those hands back towards the left, in line with that left knee. And then you're going to turn those right toes up towards the ceiling. Again, don't worry if you want to just bring your right hand up onto your hip and start to lean forward that way. But if you can reach two peace fingers around your big toe. Start to lift your chest, push your bottom over towards the left side of the mat and lean your heart towards that big toe. Again, you can bend the elbow to draw yourself forward, but try not to round the back, keep the chest open. Big breath in and out, still swinging both hips towards the left. One more big breath in and out. And then turn that foot back towards the floor, bring the hands back towards the front. Still flexing the right foot so the toes are pointing forward. Lift up through that right leg again, squeezing through the thigh. And then you're going to bring the right foot all the way forward and all the way down to the top edge of the right side of the mat. So a little bit further forward than 90 degrees. I'm going to move that left knee back so I'm a little bit further forward, and then you're going to turn the right toes out to the side. So again, depending on your flexibility or how you're feeling this evening, you may want to stay on your left palm, but make sure it's underneath your left shoulder, or you may want to come down onto your left elbow. You're just going to open up through the inside of that right thigh. So we're going to end up twisting towards the back of the room, letting the right kneecap fall out to the side to come onto the right little toe side of the foot. So gently opening up through the chest too. If you want to tonight, again, only if you're not pregnant, you can take your right fingertips behind your back and open up through the chest. Again, you're making sure that left shoulder is in towards its socket. You're opening up through the right side, deepening the breath. And then inhale, up and over with that right arm. So you're going to come back onto your palms if you're not already there, and turn that right set of toes inwards. Just coming back into a gentle half Hanuman, right toes lifted, chest is lifting, bottom is shifting backwards, and the heart is shifting forwards. Big breath in and out here. And then from here, that right foot comes to flatten down, but that the whole foot is going to shift back slightly so that your right knee is over your right ankle. So we are at 90 degrees now. From here, you're going to take your right hand onto your right knee and sweep your left arm up. So we're right in the middle of the legs. The crown of the head is all directly over the hip, directly over that left knee, tucking down through the tailbone and drawing up through the center line towards that left middle finger. Again, nice big breaths in and out here. Your choice. You can stay on your left knee, or you can tuck your left toes and come away from that left knee. Either way, just make sure you're comfortable in those legs. You can do these exercises whether you're on that left knee or not. So if you want to, tuck the left toes and lift up away from that left knee. Keep the body weight nice and low, no tension in the right toes. As you inhale, lift that left arm nice and high. And as you exhale, sway over to the right. Right shoulder falling, left side lifting. So breathing into that left side body. Get a nice big breath in and out. Don't worry if you want to drop down through that knee at any point. Same exercise. And then from here, we're going to allow that swaying over to let the left hand come onto the outer edge of the right thigh. Rolling right shoulder up, back and down, and extend that right arm behind you. So again, we're opening up through the right shoulder, pushing down and out through that right side of the chest. Again, don't worry if you want to come down onto that kneecap at any point. Sinking into the hips if you want to take a deeper stretch through the legs. Again, one more big breath in and out. And as you inhale, sweep the right arm all the way up beside the ear and take it down onto the inside of the right foot. So if you're on the knee, that's fine, just stay onto the knee. If you're on the foot, bring the left heel down to the floor. Push the right knee into that right arm, probably stay up onto fingertips or a prop if you're up, and then left arm comes up. Again, nice big breaths in and out here. You can still do that same lift, even with that kneecap on the floor. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, left hand comes down, right hand comes to the outer edge of the foot, and sweep the right foot back into down dog. Again, if you don't want to come into down dog, just drop the knees down and just still sway the hips from left to right. If you are in down dog, keep knees nice and soft. Push through the heels of the hands, and then bend and stretch each leg one at a time. Again, nice long even flows of breath here. Getting that breath to come all the way down into the belly, through into the lower back. Next inhale, lift up high onto toes if you're in down dog. Exhale down through the heels. And then release the kneecaps nice and wide to come down into child's pose before we come onto the other side. So just as wide as you need to, certainly if you've got a bump in the way. And just bring the elbows down, maybe hands come underneath the head, or head comes all the way down. Again, just taking those nice energizing breaths here, allowing the heart rate to slow. Easing out through back body. So one more big breath in and out. And again, very slowly, we're going to come up onto all fours. Head is still heavy. So I've swapped sides just so you can see me on the left-hand side. So just making sure that, again, your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. We're nice and comfortable through those shoulders. So pull back through the sockets, lifting through the chest as you take your left foot back. Again, a nice gentle circle, splaying the toes, pointing the toes, opening up through the arch of the foot, stretching out through the ankle. Again, notice any clicks, any clunks coming back the other way, and ironing those out a little bit if you can. Okay, so left toes come down onto the floor. Inhaling up through the chest, nice and tall. Exhaling back through the shoulders, tucking under through the tailbone and pushing through the heels of the hands into that left calf muscle. Giving yourself a moment here. Pushing open through the heel. And then we're going to swivel on the ball of the foot and bring the heel down onto the floor so the toes are coming to the left edge and the heel is down at the back of the mat. From here we're going to sweep the arm forward first of all. So sweeping the arm forward, coming all the way open through the chest, and then exhaling back and behind. Again, sweeping forward, nice and long, lifting through the chest, pushing back through that right shoulder, open through the left shoulder. Again, noticing how that feels for the rotator cuff. Have you been sitting with your shoulders in your ears today? If so, just give them a chance to unwind right now. Last one. And then we're going to come forward and up and over. Sweeping behind, lifting through the chest, up and over. One more here. And then on this next one, again, you're going to stay with that forward swing. See if you can push that right shoulder back even further and lift up, breathing underneath the left side of the rib cage, arcing through the body. One more big breath in and out. And then gently sweep that hand back onto the floor. Again, we're going to bring it slightly further forward and slightly out to the left, so you've got full stability through that left side if we want to come into our balance. Left foot is going to come all the way over towards that right bum cheek. So lifting up through the left knee, opening out through that left thigh, and only if you fancy, you can take the right hand behind, grab hold of the foot, lift the chest, kick it up, but also over to that right side. Big breath in and out. And then as you exhale, open up the arm and the leg if you've got it in play, and then bring the hand down, flexing that left foot. We're going to shift it all the way out to the side, toes pointing forward, left heel in line with hip, maybe lift a little higher, squeeze, and then plant it down onto the floor in line with that right kneecap. Again, as you move the body weight and the hands over to the left, if you want to, you can come down onto the elbows, just sinking into those hips, stretching out through the underside of that right thigh. When I say sinking into the hips, still just make sure that you've got hold of your body, so everything is drawn in through the core, through the pelvic floor, but we're allowing those muscles to open and ease in a nice, safe way. Again, big breath in and out here. I'm sure if some of you have been starting your running season too, this probably feels a little bit enjoyable. No. Just tell me how it feels in the chat later. And then very slowly start to walk your hands over to that right side again. Again, those left toes are going to come up towards the ceiling. You can either just bring that left hand onto the hip and lean towards those toes, or two peace fingers around the left big toe. As you inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, bend the elbow and draw the body over to that left side. Again, hips are swinging towards the right side of the mat, allowing the breath to open up those muscles. And then very slowly bring the left toes down. Left hand comes back. Again, we're going to lift that left foot, squeeze, and then bring it all the way forward. And then bring it towards the front edge of the mat. Again, it's more than 90 degrees with that left knee. So make sure you've got it slightly further forward. Left toes turn out to the side, and either bring right hand underneath the right shoulder or right elbow comes all the way down. Again, rolling over onto that right hip, left hand onto the inside of the left knee, allowing that left knee to come open. Chest is lifted, we're not sinking into the right shoulder. And if you want to, you can bring that left hand behind the back tonight. Again, don't worry if that's an impossible task for you. That's not, it's not a prerequisite, just seeing how that feels for the body if you want to. Easing into those hips, stretching out through the glute. So one more big breath in and out. And again, we're going to sweep that left arm all the way forward. Coming back up onto your knee, half paddling around, left toes lift. Both hands to the right of that left leg, lifting chest. Hips shift backwards, heart moves forwards. Nice long breaths in and out here. And again, we're going to slide that left foot back so that the left ankle is underneath your left knee. Left hand onto that left thigh. Inhale up through right arm. Shoulders come down, hugging in through the belly. Again, if you have baby, no worries about hugging in. Just drop it down through the tailbone. Take a moment here, or you can just tuck those right toes and lift up. Again, the hips are setting nice and low through that side. Swaying right arm over the head. Try not to allow that right shoulder to fall forward as you sway into that stretch. Long, even breaths, no tension in the left toes. And then bringing that right hand over the outer edge of the left thigh. And then rolling left shoulder up, back and down, opening up through that left side as you reach behind you. Again, the twist can be as much or as little as you want to. If you want to deepen the stretch, soften into the hips if you're standing. Shoulders soft. Again, nice long even breaths here, pulling through that right heel again, only if you're standing. And you can drop the knee at any time if you want to, that right knee. Inhale all the way up, reach it beside the ear, left hand on the inside of the left foot, either right heel down, or again we're just staying onto the knee, and then inhale open through that right arm as you lift the chest. Push the arm into the knee into the arm, opening up through that side. Again, one more big breath in and out here. And as you exhale, bring that hand down, hand onto the outer edge of the foot if you're coming back into downward dog, or just drop the knees and stretch the hips back. Get a gentle sway here. Then we close the eyes this time and take 3 nice big breaths into the belly. Big sigh out through the mouth. Drop the shoulders. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Last one, big breath in. Big sigh out. And then knees down if they're not already. Again, just a gentle child's pose. This time we're going to roll the wrists before we release. So just a gentle roll of the wrists, because we've been on them for a bit. And then allow the hands to fall down, forehead to fall, shoulders to soften. Again, just notice the body, the back, the hips, the breath, the heart. Again, building up that picture of how we're feeling at this moment and how it feels to open the body up to the breath. So nice big breath in and out here. And then very slowly, we're going to either just make your way up to standing from all fours, or you can come into down dog and walk yourself forward towards your hands. Again, up to you, but if you're in your third trimester, that might not feel so good. So bring the heels underneath your hips, or a little bit wider, again depending on if you are in latter stage in pregnancy. And you're going to hook your fingers around your big toes again. So give them a nice big wriggle. Bend through the knees, set the bottom back slightly, and then as you inhale, lift your chest, pull the shoulders back into their sockets, and as you exhale, bend the elbows and round the back down towards the floor. From here, we're going to keep the belly onto the thighs and start to lift the hips. Again, the elbows are bending out to the side. Big breath in and out, really softening out through low spine. And then release, bring that left hand into the center of the feet, right hand onto right hip, rolling right shoulder up, back and down. And as you do that, pull the right thigh up. So we're straightening the right leg, looking over the right shoulder and bending into the left knee. Big breath in, big sigh out. One more big breath in. As you exhale, bend both knees, bring right hand into the center, left hand, left hip. Inhale, rolling left shoulder up, back and down, bending right knee, straightening left leg. Big breath in, big sigh out. One more big breath in. As you exhale, bending through both knees and then come all the way down. So straightening up to halfway, lifting chest. Again, maybe your hands are on your thighs even, opening up the chest. And then bending it out as you let the head fall. We're going to slowly roll up through the back body, taking your time to get there. As always, make it nice, slow and steady. Each and every vertebrae, check in with each one. And then reset your shoulders up, back and down. So you're going to place your hands onto your waist. I always like to wriggle the toes a little bit and just shift the weight from left to right, just to see how that feels, see where the balance line is. And then we're going to make circles with our right toes. So maybe I'll stand and face you so that you can get a sense of what I'm up to. Wriggling the toes on your left foot, and we're going to start to shift the weight onto that left foot. Point the right toes forward, and then gently take a circle out to the side, bring it behind you, and then flex the foot so that you can come through seamlessly, I should say. Point the toes in front of you, out to the side and behind you, and then flex the foot as you come forward. Point the toes, out to the side, behind you, flex the foot, come forward, point the toes. So just keeping going with that. See if you can get the circles a little bit bigger. Doesn't really matter too much, just see how that feels on your hips. Again, we warm them up a little bit. See how that feels on the lower back too. Last one. And then this time we're going to come into warrior three. So nice and tall. Again, maybe if you've got baby bump in front of you, you want to bring the left hand underneath your bump as you come forward, and your right arm comes forward. Or maybe you want to bring both hands forward or both hands back. Just seeing how any of those positions are feeling for you and which one is speaking to you tonight. Big breath in. Big sigh out. And then we're going to soften the left knee, to bring the right foot down into a warrior two stance. So right arch of the foot is in line with your left heel. Your hips are opening to the right. Arms are at shoulder height. Softening down through those hips. Big breath in. Big sigh out. One more big breath in. Huge sigh out. And then bring the hands onto the waist. Shifting the underside of that left thigh all the way up. Shifting hips back as you hinge from those hips to lean forward for our kind of modified trikonasana. So we're looking towards the back of the room if that feels comfortable. And then we're going to slide the hand. Again, you can always stay with the hands on the hips, or we can just slide the palm of the hand down towards the floor. And try not to bring too much pressure into that palm. And if you want to, it's available to you, you can bring the right arm up. Again, don't worry if you're in any of those hand modifications, whichever one feels good for you tonight. And if your neck is feeling a little tight, just look down towards those left toes. Just make sure that right shoulder doesn't come with you. So big breath in and out. And then hand onto the waist if it's not already there. Use those right obliques, engage them, those right side muscles as you slide the hand back towards the waist. Turn the toes towards the left. But we're going to come into goddess toes. So feet are 45-degree angles, toes pointing out towards the edges of your mat. And then we're going to soften through those knees as you come down into the center line. If you can, keep a straight back. So drawing down through the tailbone, up through the crown of the head, softening out through the shoulders. Big breath in. Big sigh out. And then you're going to move yourself nice and slow and low over to the right and the left. Just getting into the underside of those legs. If you can, even to bring those legs to straight, but try not to let the chest come forward, because then you won't get the same stretch. So even if you're just doing it halfway, it's better than letting the chest come forward and the bottom backwards. So nice and slow and gentle, steady through those movements. And then come back into the center, big breath in. As you exhale, sink down through the hips. One more big breath in. Exhale. Last one, big breath in. Exhale a little lower, and then squeeze the thighs as you come all the way back up into the center line, rolling shoulders up, back and down, and turn towards the front and come back to the front as you roll out through those feet again. So again, in order to come onto the right side, I'm going to come to this side of the mat, shifting weight from left to right, and bring your hands onto your hips. So we're going to bring our weight into our right foot, no tension in the toes. The left toes are going to point forward. Again, if you can, keeping the upper body nice and tall as you take it out to the side, sweep it behind you, flex the foot and come forward. So notice whether your body wants to sink backwards or forwards when you come through that swing, and see if you can keep it as stable as possible as you move just through the hip. So it's isolating just the hip and the leg. Get a little wider if you can. And then last one for warrior three. So coming all the way back, lifting chest. Again, maybe you want to rest right hand underneath bump and send left hand forward, shoulders back, or even left hand back, or both hands forward. Nice big breath in and out. Finding lift to the right thigh. And then soften through the right knee, bring the left foot down for warrior two. Again, you reset the legs, reset the feet. Make sure you come into that nice comfortable space in the middle, lifting up through the crown of the head, softening down through the hips, shoulders soft. Big breath in, big sigh out. Again, one more of those. Big breath in, big sigh out. Hands onto the waist. Pull the underside of that right thigh all the way up, squeeze, and then hinge from the hips. Shoulder is on top of shoulder as you come down, so make sure that that left shoulder doesn't come forward. Again, nice and open, looking towards the back of the room if it's okay for your neck for a moment. And then slide the right hand down towards the floor. Again, maybe it's just halfway, maybe you just stay here, but try and keep the pressure away from that right hand. It's just there for a little bit of balance. If you want to take the full position, completely up to you, just make sure those shoulders are back. Again, don't worry if you want to look down towards those right toes. Watch for that right shoulder coming in towards the ear. So one more big breath in and out. Left hand onto the waist if it's not already there. And then sliding up, using those left obliques, really engaging through that side to bring hand onto waist. Turning the toes back towards the centre, but again, coming into our goddess stance. This time, as we sink down, we're going to bring the heels of the hands onto the thighs. So thumbs on the inside, fingers on the outside. And as you settle down, this is pretty much the one and only time I ever say this, shoulders into your ears. So we're going to straighten the arms. Sit the body slightly backwards, so your hips are slightly backwards, your body is slightly further forward. And we're going to bring those shoulders up to the ears. Again, nice big breath in. As you exhale, maybe a little lower. And then on the inhale, we're going to roll the right shoulder up, back and down. Turn the left shoulder towards the centre and look behind you. Push through the heel of that opposite hand. Big breath in. And then as you exhale back into centre, shoulders in towards the ears. Again, we're going to roll up and back and down through that left shoulder, right shoulder into the middle, right hand pushes against that thigh. Nice big breath in and out, feeling that in the middle back as a gentle twist. And then inhale back into centre. Exhale, sink a little lower. Squeeze through the thighs. And then we're going to either, again if you're in your third trimester, probably not, but if not, maybe give it a go, reach your arms forward, shoulders down the back, and then settle a little bit lower through the thighs. See if you can bring your bottom a little bit lower. And then fingertips onto the mat as you heel toe the feet a little bit closer together to come into our Malasana squat. Again, maybe the heels come off the floor, don't worry too much. Arms on the inner thighs as you inhale, lift into prayer. Shoulders down, maybe closing the eyes here. Breath is long and even. Again, one more deep breath in and out. Blinking eyelids open if they're not already. And we're going to reach those arms forward. Again, as you plop your bottom down, hand towards the front of your mat if you're not already there. Take your legs forward, give them a gentle wiggle. And we're just going to come into a forward bend now. So just bring your heels around about hip width apart. Again, we're going to use our peace finger grip again. So bend your knees, bring your fingers around your big toes, your two fingers around your big toes, and then as you inhale, lift your chest. Again, same deal as what we did standing up, shoulders back, belly in between the thighs, and start to gently reach those heels forward. So you probably won't straighten your legs all the way to keep your belly close to your thighs, shoulders come back. Nice big breath in and out here. Letting the breath come all the way down to the base of the spine. Back of the shoulders nice and open. Pulling those elbows down towards the mat. Maybe the legs come to straight after a few breaths. Maybe they don't. Just being kind to your hamstrings. So again, one last big breath in. And as you exhale, just let those hands go, palms face up beside you, head falls. So the stretch moves now into your upper back and your neck and your shoulders. Making it a nice gentle passive stretch, using gravity to pull you down towards the floor. And then very slowly rolling your way up. Taking your time to get there. Shoulder roll up, back and down. And we're going to slide the bottom to halfway through the mat. So again, if you're in your third trimester, you get let off of boat pose this evening, but you can do a little gentle lift if you want to. Hold your hands underneath your thighs, lift your chest, engage through your pelvic floor, lift in and up, squeeze it together. Or if you're not, then you get the chance to do boat pose, woohoo, Navasana. So come up onto your tiptoes, walking your knees up towards the ceiling, rolling your shoulders up, back and down, legs come to parallel, and then just allow the body to fall back slightly as the legs fall forward slightly. Again, you can stay here just with 2 fingers underneath your knees, but if you want to, palms face up, gentle breaths into the belly, lifting the chest, shoulders are open, drop the head from left to right because generally it causes a little tension. So nice long breaths here. Again, feeling the energy through the body as you open up those energy lines. Big breath in, big sigh out. One more big breath in. And then as you exhale, draw the knees in, allow the shoulders to open, allow the head to fall. And then plant the feet. Reaching the arms forward, you're going to roll yourself down. Again, if you are pregnant, just come onto your back for a moment because we're going to go straight onto the right hand side. So just walk yourself down the back of the thighs. Come slowly down. Again, if you are pregnant, please do take it easy, but just dropping the knees over to the right, hand onto the hip, one hand onto the thigh, rolling left shoulder up, back and down, and turning to the left. Again, nice gentle breaths. We're not doing too much of a big twist, so it shouldn't cause too many problems. Just being aware of your body. If it doesn't feel good, then just come straight out of it and come onto your left. Just letting everything ease away here. Allowing those back muscles to soften, hip muscles to unwind. I'm sure you've all enjoyed our hip stretches. And then gently coming back into the centre, hands just rest on the belly. Drop the legs over to the left. Again, hand on thigh, hand on hip, rolling right shoulder up, back and down, turning to the right. Again, that gentle breath, softening out through the body. And if you are pregnant, then just whenever you're ready, coming over to the left hand side, making yourself into that comfortable space. And if not, just come back into the centre, coming into shavasana. Again, I always like to say, if you've got a tight lower back, either place something underneath your knees or just bring your knees up. But either way, coming to a really nice, comfortable space, rolling shoulders up, back and down, maybe rocking hips. Neck is super long, tucking chin slightly, closing the eyes down now. So just letting those toes soften and fall open. Back the legs falling heavy into the earth. No tension through the kneecaps, around the thighs. And that really gentle breath now moving through the body, opening up into those spaces that we've created in our practice this evening. Letting the whole of the back body fall heavy. Arms soft, floating beside the body. Back of the head falling away. No tension through the muscles of the face. As you come to rest your awareness in the center of the eyebrows. Starting to deepen the breath, to wriggle fingers and toes, rolling through wrists and ankles, sweeping the arms over the head, taking yourself into that really big full stretch. Big sigh to release. If you're not already on your left, come over to your right hand side, still with eyes closed. Taking a moment here to come back slowly into the body. And when you're ready, again, still if you can with eyes closed, coming back into our comfortable cross-legged seat. Allowing those shoulders to soften away from the ears, palms face up in the lap today. Taking a moment, as always, to acknowledge your practice, this time that you've given yourself on the mat this evening. Take a moment to give thanks for that time, to enjoy that newfound connection between body, mind and breath. And take away with you some of this peace and calm that you find on your yoga mat. Bringing those hands together, rubbing them to warm them. And then place those hands as cups over the eyes. A gentle massage before we flutter eyelids open. And bring those hands down into prayer. Namaste everybody, thank you very much, and happy Monday to everybody. As always, I really appreciate the support that you guys give me. Any comments, likes or donations are all hugely gratefully received. and I hope you really enjoyed the practice. And if you did, any tags or shares with friends would be most appreciated too. So thank you very much. And again, don't forget, we have our Wednesday evening, a little bit more dynamic flow class, and our Friday morning mini practice, which is around about half an hour, 40 minutes on a Friday morning to wake you up and get you set for the weekend. Anyhow, thank you very much and have a great rest of your evening, and namaste.